Professional Development by Julie D. Walker, School of Education. As Service reports in her blog, a professional learning community, or PLC, is a team of educators who share ideas to enhance their teaching practice and creating a learning environment where students can reach their fullest potential. Most PLCs operate within a school building or across the district. They can be organized by grade level, content area, or an entire teaching staff. PLCs are a great and convenient way for educators to share ideas to make learning better for their students and for teachers, and to motivate students to be successful. Educators need to have communication with other educators so they can share opinions and feel they're making a difference. Having meetings with other educators creates a reflective look at their practices and the outcomes of their students. Educators will have the opportunity to share student progress, and if the PLC is within a grade level or the school building, there is a sense of ownership involved. Collaboration is also important. Collaboration gives educators the ability to lighten their load and share ideas and empower one another. Participation in a PLC gives a sense of community. It gives opportunities for team building and a strong bond among educators. Service says PLCs enhance the strength of others, builds trust, and creates relationships among educators. PLCs are held within school buildings, districts, states, nationally, and globally. Having the opportunity to meet with others in your field across many different distances creates opportunities to gain new ideas, form friendships, and stay up to date on best practices. It gives insight to what others are doing and what is working for others. It can inspire change. Through PLCs, educators can reflect on how to make your own teaching better and new ideas that can make teaching and student outcomes better. I chose this blog because it is important to understand how PLCs work and how they can benefit me. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, educators across the world have had to produce different ways to instruct students. Connecting with other educators in professional organizations is a great way to explore new ideas and technologies. New tools can be acquired through networking with other educators to bring about resources and creative thinking things for students and educators. This benefits learners of all ages and abilities. Spelling begins her article by discussing the rapid changes that have had to be made due to the pandemic. She interviewed Dr. Tori Trust, an associate professor at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and asked her how educators can make this new way of education accessible to all students. Dr. Trust gives 7 ways rooted in the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, to make remote learning accessible for all students. Number 1, multiple means of representation. Educators can give various options for instruction. For example, reading text, watching a video, listening to an audio recording, examining images, or for more accessibility, Microsoft's Immersive Reader and virtual tours are another option. Virtual tours are another option. Number 2, multiple means of engagement. Educators can give students the ability to take a break from staring at a screen all day. Dr. Trust recommends using a digital document with links to resources a student can explore on their own time. These activities can instruct a student to get outside, take photographs, then email or upload them to their teacher. This is a great way to get students away from the screen and moving around. Number 3, multiple means of action and expression. Dr. Trust recommends assigning open-ended activities where students can choose how they understand the topic. They can write, make a video, or build a 3D model to show understanding. Number 4, use open educational resources, or OERs. OERs are open to the public and can be used by anyone. These resources are free and can be remixed to meet the educator's needs. They may not necessarily meet accessibility standards, however, so educators must keep that in mind. Number 5, designs for accessibility. Educators must keep all students in mind. Students have different abilities, and students of all abilities must be able to access the material. Educators who use videos can add closed captioning to their videos and create transcripts for students who are visually impaired. Number 6, staying connected with your students. Communication is important. Remember to communicate with students and connect them in fun ways. Finally, number 7, connect with other educators. Dr. Trust recommends the ISTE Commons. It's a great place to learn what other educators are doing. There, educators can ask questions, get insights, and find advice about online learning. I chose this article because it is relevant for the times. I'm always looking for new ways to present the material and make assignments for my students. It is also helpful to have information about accessibility should I ever have a student who is differently abled. I want to be inclusive of all my students. According to Gillespie, communities for learning are important. Teachers should have the same learning opportunities as students when it comes to learning how to use technology efficiently. Educators need to be able to support and model the learning they want their students to have. Educators need opportunities to become, quote, empowered professionals in their own practice to support their students, end quote. Districts and schools can create online communities for their educators. These communities can have building level book studies that enhance educators' professional development and connect them with other educators in their field. This networking of educators is important because it creates a culture of learning which will benefit not only the educators, but all students of all abilities. I chose this article because it discussed how one school district chose to create a PLC, and how well it worked for them. I found the article interesting and informative. Promoting a deeper learning online using free web-based tools. This lecture was presented by David Pratt from Purdue University Northwest. The topic was on innovation in higher education. The session provided, quote, methods discussed free web-based applications and philosophies needed to build student motivation and encourage a deeper distance learning experience, end quote. Tools were demonstrated and specific examples were given on how to integrate tools into a variety of subjects. I would have liked to have attended this session because it focused on innovation in higher education where I teach. I'm always looking for free tools to use and incorporate into my online and face-to-face courses for my students to use. Presented by Dr. Suzanne Becking and Dr. Lucretia Fraga, this interactive lecture focused on digital resources and examples that can be used in the classroom right now. Resources support learners and include strategies to successfully implement them into the classroom. I would have liked to attend this lecture because I'm always looking to find new resources and ways of instruction in my classrooms, online and face-to-face. Here are my references used in this presentation.